Ladies and gentlemen, let me share a truth with you. A truth that many of us hear, but few truly embrace. Discipline is not a punishment. It's the bridge between where you are and where you want to. Most people treat discipline like a chore. They think it's something to endure, something to put up with. But the reality is far more exciting. Discipline is the secret ingredient to freedom. When you turn discipline into a habit, it ceases to feel like effort. It becomes part of who you are. It becomes your lifestyle. Discipline is often misunderstood as a rigid rule or an unwelcome obligation, something that restricts freedom or steals enjoyment from life. Many people shy away from it, believing that it is uncomfortable or unnecessary, that they can rely on talent, luck, or fleeting motivation instead. Yet, the truth is that discipline is not a burden. It is the foundation of every success, the invisible framework upon which extraordinary lives are built. It is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be, the steady force that turns dreams into reality. Without discipline, even the brightest ideas and the strongest intentions will fade into nothing more than wishes. Discipline is the difference between wishing for results and actually achieving them. When we think about discipline in the context of our daily lives, it is not about grand gestures or dramatic acts. It is about the small, deliberate choices we make consistently over time. The person who wakes up early every morning to read, to exercise, or to work on a personal project may not notice immediate changes, but each day adds to the momentum of progress. The consistent effort compounds, like drops of water carving a canyon over years. Discipline does not demand perfection, but it demands persistence, and it rewards those who are patient enough to honor it every single day. The beauty of discipline is that it is adaptable and practical. It does not discriminate. It is available to everyone, regardless of background, education, or circumstances. The principles are simple: commit to a course of action, follow through consistently, and refuse to be derailed by temporary discomfort or distraction. A disciplined person recognizes that short-term pleasures often lead to long-term regrets, while short-term effort leads to lasting rewards. They understand that every choice, every action, and every moment of self-control accumulates into the architecture of their future. Discipline is closely linked to habit. Habits are the building blocks of character, and character is the true measure of success. When disciplined actions are repeated day after day, they evolve into habits, and these habits eventually shape a person's identity. A person who habitually wakes up early, maintains focus, and honors commitments is not just disciplined. They are someone whose life naturally produces results. Discipline, when applied consistently, becomes effortless because it integrates into who you are. You don't have to constantly fight yourself. The routine itself propels you forward. Many people fall into the trap of waiting for motivation to inspire them. They believe that if they feel inspired, they will take action. The problem is that motivation is fleeting and unpredictable. It comes and goes like the wind, and if your progress depends solely on it, you will achieve very little. Discipline, on the other hand, is reliable. It does not depend on mood, emotion, or circumstances. It is the quiet, steady engine that keeps your life moving toward your goals, even when enthusiasm fades or obstacles appear. This is why discipline is far more powerful than inspiration alone. Motivation may light a fire, but discipline keeps it burning long enough to cook the meal of success. Another key aspect of turning discipline into a lifestyle is recognizing the importance of choice. Every moment presents an opportunity to act with purpose or to succumb to convenience. Will you invest in yourself today, or will you delay? Will you stick to your plan, or will you let distractions lead you astray? Discipline is about choosing the long-term benefit over the short-term comfort, understanding that every choice has a ripple effect. Those who embrace discipline understand that success is not built in a day, but through countless intentional decisions made consistently over time. Each decision is a brick in the structure of their life. Discipline also teaches resilience. Life is filled with setbacks, disappointments, and challenges. Without discipline, it is easy to give up when things get difficult, to abandon plans when the path becomes uncomfortable. But disciplined people persist. They understand that struggle is not a signal to quit, but a signal to grow. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity to strengthen their habits, refine their focus, and reaffirm their commitment to their vision. This resilience, cultivated through disciplined action, ensures that they not only survive difficulties, but thrive because of them. Ultimately, turning discipline into a lifestyle is about freedom, not restriction. The more disciplined you become, the more control you gain over your life. You stop being a slave to impulses, distractions, or fleeting moods. Instead, you create a life that reflects your highest values, your deepest goals, and your truest potential. Discipline allows you to wake up each day with purpose, to invest your time in what truly matters, and to produce results that align with your vision for the future. The journey is not always easy, and there will be days when discipline feels like a struggle. But it is in those moments that your character is built, your habits are strengthened, and your future is shaped. Discipline is not a temporary effort, it is a lifestyle. When you embrace it fully, it ceases to be a task and becomes your natural way of living, the steady heartbeat of a life that consistently produces results. Those who master this principle don't chase success. They attract it effortlessly because their life is built on the unwavering foundation of discipline. Success is not something that simply happens overnight. It is not a matter of luck or random opportunity. It is the natural outcome of the choices you make consistently, the habits you build deliberately, and the discipline you embed into every part of your life. Once you begin to view your daily actions through the lens of long-term results, you start to see that success is not a distant goal. It is the product of the lifestyle you cultivate right now. Turning discipline into a way of life is not just about controlling behavior. It is about shaping your identity, your mindset, and your future. When people talk about success, they often focus on the grand gestures, the big achievements, the promotions, the awards. But those are merely the visible signs of what has already been built in private. Behind every visible success lies countless hours of unseen effort, repeated habits, and unwavering discipline. It is easy to admire someone else's accomplishments without recognizing the daily choices that made them inevitable. Discipline is what allows ordinary people to achieve extraordinary results because it turns intention into action and action into outcomes. The most powerful way to integrate discipline into your life is to start small. You do not need to overhaul your entire existence in a single day. Change begins with one decision, one consistent action, one habit repeated over time. Perhaps it is dedicating 30 minutes a day to learning, exercising, or refining your craft. Perhaps it is maintaining a schedule that respects your priorities or eliminating distractions that steal your focus. Whatever it is, the key is to commit fully to these small actions, no matter how insignificant they may seem at the moment. These small actions, repeated daily, compound into habits. Habits, in turn, define your character. And character is the foundation upon which all lasting success is built. One of the most common obstacles to maintaining discipline is the lure of comfort. Human beings are naturally drawn to what is easy, convenient, and pleasurable in the short term. But the truth is that comfort rarely leads to growth. Growth comes when you do what is necessary, even when it is difficult, inconvenient, or exhausting. Discipline is about choosing long-term benefits over short-term ease. It is about making decisions that align with your vision, even when those decisions challenge your comfort zone. This willingness to endure temporary discomfort produces a life of freedom, strength, and accomplishment that those who chase only immediate pleasure can never achieve. Another critical aspect of discipline is planning. A disciplined person does not leave success to chance. They structure their time and energy with intention. They set clear goals, break them into actionable steps, and ensure that their daily actions contribute to these larger objectives. Discipline without direction is like a ship without a rudder. It may move, but it will drift aimlessly. By combining discipline with planning, you create a life where every action serves a purpose, every effort is multiplied, and every day becomes a stepping stone toward your desired destination. Discipline also transforms mindset. When you commit to consistent habits, you build confidence, self-respect, and inner strength. You no longer rely on external validation or temporary motivation to act, because your life begins to operate according to principle rather than impulse. This internal structure allows you to handle setbacks, challenges, and failures with resilience. You understand that obstacles are not signals to quit, but opportunities to refine your methods, strengthen your habits, and reaffirm your commitment. The disciplined person sees every difficulty as a lesson and every challenge as a chance to grow stronger. It is important to remember that turning discipline into a lifestyle is not about rigidity or denial. It is about freedom, the freedom that comes from having control over your choices, your time, and your destiny. Discipline empowers you to act consistently, to resist distractions, and to align your daily behaviors with your highest values. When discipline becomes natural, it is no longer something you force yourself to do. It is simply who you are. Your habits, your decisions, and your results flow effortlessly from the foundation of a disciplined life. Finally, discipline is not a one-time achievement but a lifelong commitment. It requires patience, persistence, and continual refinement. Even when life becomes challenging, even when circumstances shift, the principles of discipline remain constant. The more you embed discipline into your lifestyle, the more automatic your success becomes. You stop chasing goals. Instead, you create an environment where success is inevitable because it is the natural consequence of how you live. In the end, turning discipline into a lifestyle is about mastery, not just of tasks or habits, but of yourself. It is about choosing long-term growth over short-term comfort, intentional action over impulsive behavior, and consistent effort over sporadic motivation. Those who succeed are not necessarily smarter, luckier, or more talented than anyone else. They are simply those who have learned to live with purpose, to act with consistency, and to make discipline a natural, defining part of their existence. When you commit to this path, you are no longer at the mercy of circumstance or fleeting emotions. You are in control of your destiny, and success becomes not a dream, but a lifestyle. Discipline is not something that exists only in certain areas of life. It is a mindset that, when fully embraced, touches every part of your existence. To turn discipline into a lifestyle, you must begin to see it as more than just a series of actions. You must see it as a reflection of your character, your values, and your long-term vision. When discipline is treated as a core principle, rather than a temporary effort, it becomes the lens through which every decision is made, every challenge is faced, and every goal is pursued. This mindset shift is essential because it transforms discipline from a duty into a habit, and from a habit into a natural way of life. One of the most important lessons about discipline is that it is always present in small, seemingly insignificant moments. Many people wait for a dramatic event or a sudden surge of motivation to change their lives, but real success is created quietly, day by day, through small, consistent actions. Choosing to wake up a little earlier, dedicating time to study or practice, completing tasks even when you don't feel like it. These moments may seem trivial on their own, but together they define the trajectory of your life. Discipline is about mastering these small moments because the aggregate of small, disciplined actions produces massive results over time. A key aspect of turning discipline into a lifestyle is self-awareness. You cannot control what you do not first understand. This means examining your current habits, routines, and behaviors, and identifying where discipline is lacking. Are you spending too much time on distractions? Are you allowing excuses to guide your choices? Are you neglecting the long-term consequences of short-term indulgences? The disciplined person faces these questions honestly, not to condemn themselves, but to take ownership of their life. Once you know where improvement is needed, you can begin to intentionally replace unproductive habits with disciplined actions that serve your goals. Consistency is the heartbeat of discipline. One isolated act of effort does not create lasting change. It is repetition over time that builds character and produces results. Think of it like a sculptor chipping away at a block of stone. One stroke may seem inconsequential, but hundreds, thousands, and millions of deliberate strokes transform raw material into a work of art. Similarly, disciplined actions repeated consistently shape your life into something extraordinary. The key is not to wait for inspiration or the perfect conditions. The key is to show up every day, to honor your commitments to yourself, and to let momentum carry you forward. Discipline also requires vision. A lifestyle built on discipline is not aimless, it has purpose. You must know what you are working toward and why it matters. Goals are not just checkpoints. They are reminders of the life you are striving to create. When you have a clear vision, discipline becomes easier because it is tied to meaning. It is no longer a matter of forcing yourself to do something unpleasant. It becomes a conscious choice to act in alignment with your highest priorities. Your habits and daily routines are no longer random. They are tools you use intentionally to move toward the life you desire. Another essential element of turning discipline into a lifestyle is learning to embrace delayed gratification. In a world that promotes instant results and shortcuts, the ability to postpone immediate pleasure for long-term gain is a rare and powerful skill. Whether it is saving money, investing in your education, or dedicating time to personal development, disciplined individuals understand that the most valuable outcomes require patience and consistent effort. They understand that temporary discomfort today leads to permanent advantage tomorrow. This mindset sets them apart from the majority, who often seek comfort and convenience at the expense of progress. Discipline is also about resilience. Life will test you, and it will challenge your commitment. There will be setbacks, failures, and moments when it feels easier to quit than to continue. But a disciplined person understands that adversity is not a signal to give up. It is an opportunity to grow stronger, refine their methods, and strengthen their habits. The ability to persevere in the face of difficulty is a direct result of a disciplined lifestyle. It ensures that temporary obstacles do not derail long-term goals, and it allows individuals to maintain momentum even when circumstances are not ideal. Finally, turning discipline into a lifestyle is ultimately about freedom. It may seem paradoxical, but the more disciplined you become, the less restricted your life feels. Freedom is not found in impulsive choices or unchecked indulgence. True freedom is the ability to live intentionally, to act according to your principles, and to create the results you desire. Discipline empowers you to take control of your time, energy, and decisions. It allows you to design your life rather than letting life design you. When discipline becomes second nature, it is no longer a struggle. It is the foundation of a life that consistently produces meaningful results. Discipline, when fully embraced, transforms not only what you do but who you are. It is a lifestyle that shapes your identity, strengthens your character, and ensures that your actions are aligned with your vision for the future. It turns ordinary days into opportunities for growth, challenges into lessons, and small habits into extraordinary achievements. Those who master this principle do not rely on luck, fleeting motivation, or external circumstances. They create a life that reflects their values, their effort, and their commitment to excellence. Turning discipline into a lifestyle is not a temporary choice. It is a permanent transformation, the foundation of a life well lived, and the true path to lasting success. Discipline is not merely about doing what is required. It is about creating a structure for your life that allows you to achieve your highest potential. Many people approach discipline as a task, something to force themselves to do, a box to check off their daily list. But the truth is that discipline, when embraced fully, becomes the engine that drives every meaningful accomplishment. It is the invisible architecture of success, quietly shaping your days, decisions, and ultimately your destiny. Those who learn to turn discipline into a lifestyle experience a transformation that extends far beyond productivity. It affects their mindset, their habits, and their entire approach to life. At its core, turning discipline into a lifestyle is about taking responsibility for your own actions. Life will not hand you success on a silver platter, and waiting for the perfect circumstances is a fool's game. Discipline requires you to accept that the outcome of your life is directly tied to the choices you make each day. Every decision, no matter how small, either moves you closer to your goals or pulls you further away. Discipline is the conscious effort to ensure that your choices are consistently aligned with your long-term vision. It is not about perfection. It is about persistence. The person who consistently chooses wisely, even in small matters, accumulates results that seem almost effortless over time. One of the most powerful aspects of discipline is its compounding effect. Small, Disciplined actions repeated consistently create enormous results over time. Waking up early, dedicating time to learn, focusing on important tasks, managing finances wisely, and maintaining health. All these seemingly small actions compound into massive achievements. What most people fail to understand is that greatness is not an event, it is a process. Each day that you practice discipline is another step forward, and the accumulation of those steps shapes your destiny. This is why the disciplined person always seems to be ahead, because they understand the value of consistency and long-term thinking. Discipline also teaches patience. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, those who embrace discipline understand that meaningful success cannot be rushed. They know that wealth, mastery, and personal growth require time and effort. Impatience often leads to poor choices, shortcuts, and unfulfilled potential. By contrast, a disciplined lifestyle nurtures patience and encourages long-term focus. You learn to appreciate the journey as much as the destination, to value progress even when it is slow, and to trust that your efforts will yield results if you remain consistent. Patience, coupled with discipline, is one of the most powerful forces in shaping a successful life. Another essential element of turning discipline into a lifestyle is developing self-control. Discipline is not about external pressures, it is about mastering internal impulses. The disciplined person has the ability to delay short-term pleasure for long-term gain. They resist temptations that provide momentary satisfaction but undermine their goals. They are able to prioritize what is truly important over what is immediately convenient. Self-control is not restrictive, it is empowering. It allows you to focus on what matters most, to conserve energy for the things that will produce meaningful results, and to avoid the distractions that derail progress. Discipline also strengthens character. When you live a disciplined life, you build integrity, reliability, and self-respect. People who are disciplined in their personal and professional lives earn trust and admiration because their actions consistently reflect their values. Your reputation, your relationships, and your influence are all enhanced by your ability to follow through. Habits of discipline eventually shape your identity. You begin to see yourself not as someone who struggles with consistency, but as someone who is capable, dependable, and committed to excellence. This shift in self-perception creates a feedback loop. The more disciplined you become, the more your actions reflect your values, and the stronger your character grows. Discipline also prepares you to handle adversity with resilience. Life is unpredictable, and challenges are inevitable. Without discipline, obstacles can derail progress, shake confidence, and create frustration. But disciplined individuals face difficulties with calm determination. They have developed the mental and emotional fortitude to stay the course, even when circumstances are unfavorable. Discipline equips you with the ability to remain consistent, to problem solve, and to adapt without abandoning your principles. In this way, it not only supports success but sustains it even under pressure. Finally, embracing discipline as a lifestyle transforms freedom. At first, it may feel like discipline is a set of restrictions, a chain of obligations. But true discipline actually gives you control over your life. When your habits, priorities, and actions are aligned, you stop being reactive to life's circumstances. You no longer drift aimlessly or chase fleeting impulses. Instead, you live intentionally, with purpose, and with the confidence that your daily actions are shaping the future you desire. Freedom is not the absence of responsibility. It is mastery over yourself, and discipline is the key to achieving it. Those who truly turn discipline into a lifestyle do not simply perform tasks. They live by principles. They recognize that every decision matters, that every habit shapes their destiny, and that their daily choices are building blocks of their future. Discipline is not temporary, it is enduring. It is not a one-time effort, it is a way of being. When discipline becomes who you are, success becomes not a distant dream, but the natural outcome of a life well lived. It is no longer about chasing results, it is about living a life that produces them effortlessly, consistently, and inevitably. Discipline is often misunderstood as a temporary effort, something to push through for a few days or weeks in the hope of seeing quick results. But true discipline is not temporary. It is a commitment that shapes the very foundation of your life. Turning discipline into a lifestyle is about more than following rules or sticking to routines. It is about creating a framework for excellence that influences every choice, every action, and every outcome. When discipline becomes a natural part of your character, it no longer feels like a burden. Instead, it becomes a source of strength, a compass guiding you toward your highest potential. One of the most important aspects of turning discipline into a lifestyle is understanding that it is a process, not an event. You cannot achieve a disciplined life overnight. It requires patience, persistence, and an unwavering commitment to showing up every day, regardless of circumstances. Small, consistent actions repeated over time produce results that far outweigh the effort they require. It is the daily decision to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, that separates those who achieve their goals from those who merely wish for them. Discipline is the engine that transforms intention into accomplishment, dreams into reality, and potential into tangible results. The disciplined person recognizes that life is a series of choices, and every choice has consequences. Every moment offers an opportunity to act with purpose or to drift aimlessly. To live a disciplined life means choosing the actions that align with your goals, values, and vision even when it is uncomfortable or inconvenient. It is the ability to say no to distractions, to delay gratification, and to prioritize long-term success over immediate pleasure. This is not about rigidity or deprivation. It is about empowerment. Discipline gives you the power to direct your energy toward what truly matters, rather than being pulled in every direction by fleeting desires or external pressures. Another essential component of turning discipline into a lifestyle is the development of self-awareness. You cannot control what you do not first understand. The disciplined person takes an honest look at their habits, routines, and behaviors. They identify areas where they are inconsistent, distracted, or unproductive and take deliberate steps to improve. This self-awareness allows them to replace harmful patterns with productive ones, ensuring that every action contributes to their long-term goals. It also cultivates humility, patience, and the willingness to learn, qualities that are indispensable for personal growth and lasting success. Discipline is closely linked to resilience. Life is unpredictable, and challenges are inevitable. Without discipline, setbacks can feel insurmountable, leading to frustration, discouragement, or abandonment of goals. But the disciplined person views obstacles differently. They see adversity as an opportunity to refine their habits, strengthen their resolve, and grow stronger. Discipline provides the foundation for consistent effort, even when circumstances are difficult or results are not immediate. It ensures that temporary setbacks do not derail long-term progress, and that challenges become stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. The compounding effect of discipline is another reason it is so powerful. Small, consistent actions may seem insignificant at first, but over time they build momentum. Waking up early, dedicating time to learning, exercising regularly, maintaining focus, and managing priorities. All these actions, repeated daily, accumulate into remarkable results. Discipline turns ordinary days into extraordinary outcomes because it ensures that every moment is spent intentionally. The person who practices discipline understands that success is rarely sudden. It is the product of countless small efforts applied consistently over time. Discipline also shapes character. The choices you make consistently define who you are. When you live a disciplined life, you cultivate integrity, reliability, and self-respect. People who act with discipline earn trust, influence, and respect because their actions are aligned with their principles. Your habits, your decisions, and your routines eventually become your identity. You no longer see yourself as someone who struggles with consistency or gives in to impulses. Instead, you become someone capable, dependable, and committed to excellence. This alignment of identity and action makes discipline effortless and sustainable. Finally, turning discipline into a lifestyle is about creating freedom through structure. While it may seem paradoxical, discipline does not restrict you. It empowers you. It gives you control over your time, energy, and decisions. Instead of being a slave to moods, impulses, or distractions, you live intentionally. Your daily actions are aligned with your long-term vision, and your life begins to produce results naturally, almost effortlessly. The disciplined person does not chase success, they live a life that attracts it. Every habit, every choice, and every action reinforces their path, making achievement inevitable. Ultimately, embracing discipline as a lifestyle is a lifelong commitment. It is not a temporary fix, a seasonal effort, or a short-term challenge. It is the steady, intentional practice of aligning your actions with your goals, your values, and your vision. It is about taking ownership of your life, consistently doing what is necessary, and creating habits that shape your identity and your future. When discipline becomes your lifestyle, success is no longer a distant aspiration. It is the natural outcome of the way you live, think, and act. It is the difference between wishing for a better life and building one. It is the bridge between dreams and reality, and it is available to anyone willing to embrace it fully. So I challenge you today, don't think of discipline as something you have to do. Think of it as something you get to live. Make it your lifestyle. Let it shape your days, your character, and your destiny. Because when you turn discipline into a lifestyle, success is no longer something you chase. It's something you live,